My friend, give this moment your full attention. Do not merely hear these words, receive them with the deeper part of yourself that has been waiting for this realization. Something is changing. Not someday, not as a distant possibility, but now. A real shift is already taking place beneath what your physical eyes can see. There are unseen movements happening within the foundation of your life, and forces are quietly working in your favor. You have waited through uncertainty, through frustration, through questions that had no immediate answers. You kept believing even when belief felt difficult. You held on when everything inside you wanted to surrender. And that waiting was never wasted. It was preparing you for this moment, because what is unfolding is not ruled by chance, luck, or coincidence. It follows a deeper law. What you accept as true within yourself eventually becomes reflected in your experience. Understand this deeply, because many people never do. Life does not simply respond to what you want, it responds to who you believe yourself to be. If you constantly see yourself as someone who struggles, someone who lacks, or someone who is always waiting for something good to arrive, your reality will continue reflecting that identity. The world around you is a mirror of the world within you. The moment you begin assuming that your desire is not something you are chasing, but something that already belongs to you, everything begins shifting. Reality starts reorganizing itself around your new belief. This is not empty imagination, it is not pretending. It is understanding that every creation begins in the unseen before it appears in the visible. Right now, allow yourself to feel your miracle already complete. Feel the peace of a prayer answered. Feel the relief of putting down a burden you have carried too long. Feel the joy of someone who has finally arrived after a long journey. The doors that once seemed impossible are opening. The confusion is becoming clarity. The healing, love, success, and abundance you desire are already accepted within your consciousness. Say quietly to yourself, "It is done." Do not allow your current circumstances to convince you that nothing is happening. The absence of visible evidence does not mean the absence of movement. Everything begins in the unseen, and your only responsibility is to remain connected to the inner knowing that what you desire is already possible. Do not chase, do not beg, do not demand proof before you believe. Become still and trust the process. Your miracle is not something that must first arrive from outside of you. It begins with the state you choose within yourself. When doubt appears, meet it with gratitude. Say with calm certainty, "Thank you, it is already done." When this belief becomes a settled conviction instead of a temporary feeling, your thoughts, actions, and emotions begin aligning with the reality you desire. Most people spend their lives waiting. They wait for circumstances to improve before they believe. They wait for success before feeling successful. They wait for proof before trusting. But this keeps them trapped, because the evidence they seek can only appear after the belief already exists. The inner world always comes first. The outer world follows. To assume is to experience something mentally and emotionally before it becomes physically visible. You do not need to force everything into place or control every detail. You only need to remain in the state of fulfillment and become familiar with the feeling of already having what you desire. Imagine someone who wants financial freedom but secretly believes they are meant to struggle. They may work hard, but their hidden assumptions continue shaping their choices and experiences. Now imagine that same person choosing a new identity. Their circumstances may look the same, but internally they become someone who already carries confidence and abundance. They stop repeating fear. They replace anxiety with trust. They stop searching for proof and begin living from certainty. Slowly, their world begins responding. New opportunities appear, new ideas emerge, unexpected connections form. Doors open not because they forced life to change, but because they changed the foundation from which they experienced life. This is how transformation works. Miracles are not created through desperation, they are created through alignment. When your inner world changes, your outer world begins to follow. Think of an actor preparing to step into the role of a confident, successful, and fully awakened person. They do not stand on the stage as their ordinary self and hope the character slowly appears. They enter the role completely until the character's thoughts, emotions, and presence become their own. This is the invitation before you now. Become the person who already possesses what you desire. If you want love, live from the feeling of being deeply loved, valued, and chosen. If you desire healing, accept the identity of someone who is already whole and restored. If you seek success, allow yourself to inhabit the reality of someone whose life is already aligned with that success. The feeling is the key because feeling gives your assumption power. Life does not respond only to the words you repeat, it responds to the state of being behind those words. When that feeling becomes natural, when it becomes the atmosphere you live from each day, your inner world has changed, and your outer world must eventually reflect that change. Do not keep searching for proof in every moment. Do not measure each day to see whether things are changing, because that habit comes from uncertainty, and uncertainty keeps you tied to the absence of what you want. Instead, settle into the calm knowing that it is already accomplished. Move through life with the mindset of someone who has already received, because on the deeper level of consciousness, it already exists. The more familiar this assumption becomes, the more naturally it begins to appear in your physical experience. Faith is not a small part of life. It is the foundation that shapes how you experience everything. Every repeated pattern, every circumstance, every situation you encounter is connected to what you have accepted as true within yourself. You are not separate from your desires, waiting for them to travel toward you from somewhere far away. You are the one creating the relationship between yourself and what you want. The miracle is not outside of you, it already exists within you, waiting for your belief to bring it into visible form. Many people move through life as though reality simply happens to them. They see the world as a fixed system of limitations they must accept and survive, allowing fear, past experiences, and present circumstances to decide what is possible. But reality is not permanent. It is constantly responding, constantly shifting, and continuously shaped by the deepest beliefs held within you. What you accept as true in your heart eventually finds expression in your world. Faith is not merely wishing with a positive emotion attached. It is deep inner certainty. It is knowing that what you desire belongs to you, not because your eyes can prove it, but because you have chosen it as your truth. Nothing in the visible world has the power to cancel that decision. Faith is the bridge between what is unseen and what becomes seen. When you live from that belief without constantly adding fear, hesitation, or the question of whether it will happen, your assumption begins to take form. Faith does not wait for evidence before it believes. Faith creates the evidence. Imagine someone who believes they are always unlucky. Watch how they move through life. They will unconsciously search for situations that confirm their belief, miss opportunities because they hesitate at the wrong moment, or turn a simple setback into proof that life is against them. They may focus only on what goes wrong while ignoring what goes right, not because they are incapable, but because their assumption is stronger than their circumstances. Their inner belief guides their perception, their choices, and their actions. Now imagine someone who carries a quiet confidence that life supports them. They face the same world, the same challenges, and the same unexpected obstacles, but they respond differently. Rejection does not destroy them because they do not see it as the final answer. They trust that another door can open. Things begin changing, not because they are magically luckier, but because they are operating from a different inner state. Their belief influences their decisions, and their decisions create new outcomes. Protect your mind carefully, because the world will constantly try to convince you that your dreams are unrealistic, that you should only believe what you can see, and that you must accept things exactly as they are. But what you see today today is only the reflection of previous beliefs. It is not the complete picture of what is becoming. Change what you accept as true within yourself, and the reflection around you must change. Let your faith guide you more than your circumstances. Let your inner knowing become stronger than temporary appearances. Your miracle is already present, waiting for you to believe it into visibility. The only barrier between you and what is already yours is the doubt that tells you it is impossible. Doubt is the greatest barrier standing between you and the miracle that is already unfolding. The moment you quiet the endless questions, the moment you stop asking when, how, and whether it will really happen, you remove yourself from the struggle and step out of the way of your own resistance. Most people live trapped in a cycle of contradiction. They pray for something, but then worry about whether it will arrive. They imagine their desire becoming real, but then immediately search for proof. They repeat positive thoughts in the morning, then allow fear to take over by the afternoon. This constant movement between belief and doubt prevents the very thing they desire from unfolding, because it is like planting a seed in the ground and pulling it out every day just to see if the roots are growing. The seed cannot develop when it is constantly disturbed, and the same is true with your desires. You must plant the seed of faith and allow it to grow in the unseen, trusting the process that you cannot yet observe. Beneath the surface, the roots are forming. The real work is happening in the invisible before it appears in the visible. Your responsibility is simple. Continue nurturing your desire with faith and stop destroying it with uncertainty. Certainty is not pride, it is alignment. When you finally decide that what you desire is already moving toward you, when you stop seeing it as a possibility and begin accepting it as a certainty, you remove the inner resistance that was creating delay. You are no longer sending conflicting messages. You are no longer saying you believe while secretly expecting disappointment. Your thoughts, emotions, and faith become completely aligned, and alignment is where transformation begins. You do not need to know every detail of how it will happen, because trying to control every step is often what blocks the natural movement of your desires. The how is not your responsibility. The how belongs to a greater intelligence that can create possibilities far beyond what your mind can plan. Your role is to know what you want, believe it is already established, and allow the path to reveal itself. Think about a river. A river does not fight with every obstacle in its way. It does not waste energy arguing with rocks or forcing every turn. It simply moves forward, following the path available to it, always finding a way toward the ocean. When you stop forcing, stop struggling, and stop carrying the constant pressure of controlling the outcome, you become like that river. You move with life instead of against it, and your desires begin moving with you. Imagine someone seeking healing. If they constantly check their body, search for symptoms, compare every feeling to yesterday, and look for signs that something is still wrong, they continue living from the identity of someone who is not healed. Every repeated check sends a message of uncertainty. I still do not believe I am whole. But when that person chooses faith before visible evidence appears, when they accept healing as already complete within their consciousness, something begins changing. Their inner state transforms, their emotional environment shifts, their entire relationship with their body changes. This is not pretending, it is not ignoring reality, it is choosing which reality you will continue to live from. The reality of the past that is fading away, or the reality that is beginning to emerge. Be still, this is where true power exists. The greatest creative force does not come from panic, pressure, or endless effort. It comes from inner peace. When you become quiet within yourself, release the need to control every detail, and let go of questions that only create anxiety, you create space for life to move naturally. Being still does not mean doing nothing. It does not mean giving up. It means trusting completely. It means standing with confidence, knowing that things are unfolding in your favor, even when your eyes cannot yet confirm it. It is the state of someone who has already received, someone who is calm, present, and at peace, because they no longer feel the need to chase what they know belongs to them. From this state, unexpected opportunities appear, new connections emerge, and doors begin opening that could never have been forced through struggle alone. Release the need to understand every single step. Release the need to predict every outcome. Trust the power that has been quietly working for you, even during moments when you could not feel it. Your only task is to remain connected to certainty and protect the inner state you have chosen. Do not accept the invitation of doubt when it arrives at the door of your mind. Your miracle is not something you must earn through suffering. It is not something you must prove yourself worthy of receiving. It already exists in the unseen, in the place where all things begin before they appear in physical form. And your faith is what allows it to become visible. And gratitude is the final key that opens the way. Not gratitude that you force because someone told you it is useful, not gratitude that depends on receiving proof first. True gratitude is a way of being. It is the natural feeling of someone who already knows they have received. Many people misunderstand gratitude. They think, when my desire arrives, then I will be grateful. But gratitude after receiving is only a reaction to evidence. The deeper and more powerful gratitude comes before the evidence appears. It is the gratitude that says, I know it is already complete. I can feel it. I am thankful now. This kind of gratitude is more than an emotion. It is a declaration. It is the inner certainty that your desire is already fulfilled and that your reality is simply moving into alignment with what you have accepted as true. When you feel true gratitude for something you have not yet seen with your eyes, you step beyond the state of wanting and enter the state of already having. That shift is powerful because life does not respond only to the words you speak or the wishes you repeat. It responds to the energy you consistently live from. If your inner world is filled with, I need this, I do not have this yet, or when will it finally happen, then you are sending out the signal of waiting, and life mirrors that waiting back to you. But when you move into grateful ownership, when your inner voice quietly says, this is already mine, I can feel it, I am thankful now, you begin approaching life from fulfillment instead of absence. From that state, more experiences begin to appear that match your gratitude, because abundance expands, love deepens, healing continues, and whatever you consistently embody within yourself begins finding its way into your outer experience. Imagine someone who longs for financial freedom, but spends every day trapped in the feeling of scarcity. Every bill becomes proof that there is not enough. Every unexpected expense becomes another reason to worry. And every difficult moment reinforces the same inner story they have been telling themselves for years. Now imagine that same person making one steady and powerful shift. Instead of focusing only on what is missing, they begin noticing what already exists. They appreciate the small blessings, the opportunities already present, and the things they once overlooked. This is not fake gratitude or forced positivity. It is real appreciation, the simple awareness that even now, there is something valuable to acknowledge. And through that awareness, something begins to soften. The tension of scarcity starts to release. The heavy feeling of lack gives way to openness, trust, and possibility. And life begins responding differently because the energy being carried has changed. Gratitude is one of the purest expressions of abundance because true gratitude cannot exist in a state of complete lack. The two cannot occupy the same space. When you are genuinely grateful, you are already experiencing a form of abundance. And when you live from abundance, you become available for more experiences that match that state. This is why gratitude is not something you practice only after receiving what you want. It is what helps create the state that allows receiving to happen. It removes the space where doubt lives and fills your awareness with a feeling so complete and peaceful that uncertainty has nowhere to remain. So feel it now, not tomorrow, and not when circumstances finally change. Close your eyes for a moment and bring to mind the desire you have been carrying, the dream, the healing, the opportunity, or the transformation you have been hoping for. Instead of seeing it as something far away, imagine it as something already received, already given, already present within your life. Let gratitude rise inside you. Feel it in your chest. Let it change the atmosphere within you. Let it become familiar, the place you naturally return to. Because your dominant inner state shapes the direction of your life, and life responds by reflecting what you consistently embody. If your dominant state is waiting, questioning, and wondering, then you remain connected to waiting. If your dominant state is gratitude, trust, and receiving, then you become aligned with receiving. The choice begins within you, and you can choose differently in this very moment. It does not matter what your current circumstances appear to say, what your bank account shows, what a doctor's report says, what your relationship looks like today, or what evidence seems visible around you. The physical world is often only a reflection of what has already been, while your inner state is where the future begins. Choose gratitude not as something you force yourself to feel, but as the natural expression of someone who knows the truth within. I can feel it. It is already done. I give thanks. Live from that awareness. Wake up with that awareness. Move through your days with a heart that already feels complete, and watch as your reality begins moving toward the truth you have chosen to embody. Remember these truths clearly. Your reality is shaped by your inner world. Miracles come through alignment rather than struggle. The unseen is just as real as the visible, and you do not need to chase, beg, or force life into giving you what you desire. Assume it is already done. Quiet the doubts when they appear. Rest in the understanding that everything is moving in ways you may not yet recognize. Be still, not because you have given up, but because you trust completely. Give thanks before the evidence arrives, because in the unseen dimension where all creation begins, it already exists. The power has never been outside of you, it has always been within you. Change your inner state and your external world must eventually follow. Hold the vision, trust the unfolding. Let your faith become the bridge between the life you currently see and the life that already exists within you. What you seek is already moving toward you.